Okay, perfect. All right. It took us a minute, but we got there. So, okay, great. Um, all right. So, sorry. To back to the show. So, I figured what I'll do today while I'm kind of talking about everything is I will do a little kind of like get ready with me, I guess. Not sure if that's quite the right word, but like I figure I'll do my eyebrows and put on maybe some easy eyeshadow and lashes and whatnot, and I can kind of take you guys through a bit of my like routine in terms of like what I do before, whether that's like shows or anything else. So, let me get all my materials. One, two, three, four. Okay. Okay. So while I'm telling you guys about the card show, here's kind of what this routine is like. So the first thing I wanted to talk about today in terms of, this card show that I went to is basically just some review of the preparatory work that I did um, earlier or throughout last week. So in that kind of preparation, it included like setting up what I call a trade binder, which is essentially a binder with select series that I'm going to be focusing on acquiring cards for. Then I like to go through and set up what my tradable cards are. So generally, I'll go ahead and select some like different cards that I have in my collection, like that are specifically for trading, whether that's like uh, so we'll go over those as well. And finally, I wanted to discuss some of the principles and tactics that I use while trading for like new cards and whatnot. So I think that will be fun. Then here's where kind of the eyebrows come in. Is I actually did like a cosplay for this event, and what I did was I have this cosplay that I've been working on that is actually inspired by. Okay, I know it says it's white flare, so the Scarlet and Violet white flare series. If you guys were curious about what products I'm using, I use this Aveeno Calm and Restore, like redness relief moisturizer. Big fan of that one. And then because I was shaving off my eyebrows and hitting them with some Nair for this cosplay, caused a bit of damage to the skin. So I wanted to just put some new skin on it. And then this little trick that I learned is just applying setting spray in between like every layer of stuff that you're doing. So, all right, setting my eyes for a minute. and I'm gonna let them rest. So, back to the cosplay. It's a cosplay based on the Scarlet and Violet White Flare Elite Trainer box, and kind of more specifically, it's a tweet about the Scarlet and Violet White Flare Elite Trainer box. So we'll get into that. And next, we'll do a little bit of the trade summaries. I think that's kind of the most important part of this endeavor. And we'll be talking about so basically, in summary, and we'll go into the specifics of this later, is that I did 9 trades across 9 vendors. And what this next line means is that I gained 24 cards. I traded out uh, 28 with some caveats, and then I gained $97, again with some more caveats. So the way I kind of like to summarize this is plus 24 cards, cards in, new cards, new to me cards, I collect vintage. 28 cards out, minus 28, and then I gained a total of $97 through trading. Technically in trade credit at a particular location, not cash. So then plus 97. Next, we'll be going over the tracking, my different tracking lists, and do some updating there. And finally, towards the end of the stream, I'm going to go ahead and sleeve and organize my cards. Alright, so let's kind of talk about what's in the binder. So, in the binder, I was specifically focusing on my e-reader collection. Oh, where the heck did my... I don't know, went off to. Here we go. So, I was looking at specifically the e-reader series. This is a set of series that actually spans 2 different generations, Generation 2 and Generation 3. And those are going to include, set-wise, we're looking at Expedition, Aquapolis, and Skyridge from Generation 2. This is going to be the latter half of the series. And then in Generation 3, it's it ranges 3.5 series, and I know that doesn't sound quite right, but basically what happened is we have EX Ruby Sapphire, which was the Generation 3 base set. We had then next EX Sandstorm, and finally we had EX Dragon. Then from the next set, EX Team Aqua versus Team Magma, there were a couple. Oh, more of my nails fell off. That's unfortunate. I did press-ons for the first time and put them on Friday night. So that's too bad. I'll have to pop those back on at some point. Anyway, so in the EX Team Aqua versus Team Magma, there is a subset of cards that include the e-reader trait, which is they have this specific thick yellow border along some of the edges of the cards, and those have encoding for this Pokemon game, so you could yeah, anyway, I think it'll make more sense once I pull it up. And then finally, I was looking for Black Star promo from these series, so both Wizards of the Coast prints as well as Nintendo prints. Alright, so let's get into some of the tradables. Now, kind of jumping back to what I am doing to myself. Personally, I really like very thin eyebrows. I also prefer when my eyebrows are when they are like above the line of my glasses. I feel like my natural brows, they are a little bit like right at the glasses line. So I like to start with actually some like eyeliner. This is just black eyeliner because my eyebrows are naturally like darker than my hair, so like a regular brown doesn't quite look right. Despite like, I have medium brown hair. So I like to actually start with like a black base. Okay. So now in terms of the tradables, I have my like faux slabs, which are just the three cards that you see on the top. So we had a Bell Sprout first edition from Jungle, extra duplicate copy that I had. So something kind of nice to like easy trade. I was looking for about $2 to $3 in kind of like trade credit value for this card. Oh, four. Yeah, it can kind of range 2 to 4. Then a full art, secret rare. No, what they're called is special. Is it like it's either one of those like special illustrated secret rares? There's so many crazy new rarity like delineations in the new kind of Pokemon series list. It is hard to keep track. Then probably my most expensive was this Glaceon V Star from Crown Zenith. And this like full, what is it, special illustrated rare was my strongest card, and that was coming in when I searched for like the value the day before was around $63 in trade. Or it was like around $63. So that's where I was I was going. Yep, the super chocolatey, fudge coated, super secret, mega, super ultra rare. Exactly. And oh my gosh, it's kind of insane. If and like I know that there's like an issue. I know that there's issues with like scalpers and all of that new stuff, but like I feel like part of it is like the Pokemon TCG company like brought this on themselves a little bit by making these like super ultra mega rares like their new thing. Okay, so those are my tradables. Then at the bottom, you can see this is what I called my e-reader bulk. So kind of going back to like what these e-reader cards are, you can see that there are some cards that have a like thick yellow border on the left side and the bottom, and so there are those, as well as there are some cards that have a thick yellow border just along the bottom. So the difference between these two layouts is the ones with the like border on the left and bottom, those are going to be generation 2. Those are from the Expedition, Aquapolis, or Skyridge sets, and the ones on the cards that have that yellow border only along the bottom. Those are going to be Generation 3, the EX Ruby Sapphire, EX Dragon, EX Sandstorm. So these are what I call kind of my like e-reader bulk, and they're basically all just kind of like duplicates, nothing super rare or expensive. They're not all in the best quality either. And my kind of goal with them was to kind of go through and trade them like as like a bulk deal. So if anyone's kind of familiar with trading or like trading cards to whoop, trading cards to like card shops, sometimes they'll let you trade in just like a box of bulk cards, which are just kind of like your whatever cards. And so that's what the point of this one was. Also, not pictured that I did end up trading was my other Wizards of the Coast unlimited bulk. So, that being kind of like if you see the Bell Sprout, you see kind of that card layout, and that card layout was popular in Generation 1, carried into Generation 2. Uh, the Unlimited series is like anything that's not first edition. So, for these, I had like a bunch of leftover cards that duplicates, nothing exciting, so I was trading them all as bulk. Lastly, I did have some Delta Species bulk, which is a like subset of cards from the latter half of Generation 3, where like different Pokemon had like mixed and rare typings. So you would have like a water type Pokemon with like you would have a water type Pokemon with like electric type, or you would have like a mixed metal type in there. Some a couple things like that just to kind of make it a little bit more interesting and different. Okay, so the last kind of thing that I want to discuss in terms of preparation is what kind of my trading principles and tactics are when approaching these card shows. So, kind of the idea is I really try to like maximize my like one for one trade. So, I like the conceptually trying to keep it at like like one card to one card or $1 per card, and kind of trying to get that as my like base. I think moving back to my makeup real quick, I do like to kind of go through as well with like a brown uh, eyebrow pencil. Or what is this? Oh no, this is also eye makeup, but this one, as you can see, pretty flat and dull, so it is not really marking. So I am going to switch to a Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Bar and try and go over these brows with a little bit of brown as well. Okay, now jumping back into the cards. When I go to card shows, I really make an effort to minimize the amount I'm spending. And so, like, yeah, we did pay for admission, and I do think that's a little bit goofy. Like, I definitely prefer events where you don't have to pay admission, but you know, whatever. I guess that's normal. Um, but beyond that, I really try and like limit the amount of spending, like cash wise, that I'm doing. I just like it always, I don't know, like freaks me out almost when I see um like people talk about how they're spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars on cards. I'm like, that is just crazy. Yeah, and in terms of admission, you really are paying for the privilege of paying for the privilege of being there. So, I don't know, kind of a bit silly, but whatever. Then moving on from there, I really like to utilize what I call like my duplicate trading tactics. And what this means is like in a lot of these card series, there were like I don't want to say like special rares. This does happen in like the modern TCG, but like certain generally common or uncommon cards will come in occasionally like a reverse holofoil. So that's what the RHF stands for, reverse holofoil. So if you've ever seen those cards where like the body of the card is like shiny and like is really shiny. A lot of these are maybe have like a hint of rainbow to them. Then these are the reverse holofoils. Okay. So basically, what I do is if I find a like if I find that there is a non holofoil version of a card that I have a reverse holofoil for, I'm not a big fan of the reverse holofoils. I don't trade out all of them, but I do occasionally like to basically trade out my reverse holofoils for the non holofoil versions. And in that case, I am like able to gain credit towards other cards and keep essentially like the same card in my collection, just now a non holofoil. And this is actually something that I did several times throughout this card show, so I will be able to kind of point it out again as it comes up. Now, the second thing that I like to do in terms of these like duplicate trade tactics is what I call trading on condition. So if I have a card that is, let's say, lightly played, moderately played, and a vendor has a card that is the same card that is heavily played or damaged, I'm happy to swap like my better condition card for their worse condition card in exchange for, like credit. So I get to essentially keep a copy of the card that I have in my collection and get credit towards more Pokemon cards in their like picking up more cards. This is also something that I did do this time, so we will be talking about this. All right, so let's get into the cosplay information because I think it really ties back to why I do not have eyebrows at the moment and need to be drawing them back on. There we go. Now they're kind of even on both sides. I'm also kind of the thought process in terms of eyebrows of they are sisters, not twins. So if they're just a little bit different, that looks nice and natural. I do have a tendency towards more of like a curved brow. These are a little bit less dramatic, but we will get into this. Okay. So on the left, this is this is the tweet that really inspired my cosplay, and it says, "I believe this dress, a like what is it, mid like a 2000s early to like 2010s like prom dress, homecoming dress with like a black bandeau top, a like sparkly magenta belt, and a zebra print skirt. I believe this dress was the inspo for the White Flare ETB, which you can see on the right side of that tweet, where it literally has all of these colors in it. It has the zebra print, it has the magenta, it has the white. Like, I, this tweet has just kind of like lived in my mind for since I saw it, and I was like, this I want to cosplay. So on the right, we had kind of my original concept for the cosplay, and so I knew I wanted to do like I wanted to make sure that I had all of the colors. So trying to make sure that I had like a little bit of everything, some pink, some, obviously some zebra print, some like white and black. So I had had this corset that I'd been working on for a burlesque act, and I had like it had already had a lot of like the pink colors, so not quite the exact pink of the like ETB, but relatively close. So like I had kind of thrown that on. I had had a pink sun hat that I kind of made into like a kind of like a collar, and a and I was like, okay, obviously this needs a zebra print zebra print mini skirt. So, this was my initial concept for the cosplay. So, I actually did end up making my white flare ETB into a purse. And like, this is kind of the construction on the right. I even have the framed tweet on it, as well as I had thrifted a really nice magenta purse with detachable strap that I was able to put onto the box, making it a purse. It is a very very secure purse because it is like a chore to open. I have to take off the sleeve all the way around and take off the lid, and make sure that everything is kind of still together so it can be like put like reconfigured. But I mean, I am super happy with it. I get quite a few compliments when I wear it out. And like, I'm sure eventually I'll go through and like make it a little bit better. But for now, I'm pretty happy with it. Oops, hold on. There we go. Okay, so this was actually the first run of the cosplay that I did, and I I debuted this April 3rd. I was going to a drag show for a local micro celebrity, I will call her. So the drag show was called Nothing's Wrong, featuring Anne Fong. It was a combination drag show, drag race viewing party, and micro celebrity, sorry, uh, accident injury lawyer, um, like event. So I decided I wanted to go ahead and try out my cosplay. I did wear a breastplate for this one. I just like wanted to do something different, and like I think that, just kind of as a drag queen, like I think it's fun to put on fake tits. So I was like, yeah, I haven't worn these in a while, so let's go ahead and do some of that, which is great. Then so this was my first run. I also had tried to do kind of like a zebra print makeup with some like pink, but as you can kind of tell by the photo, it didn't quite work out the way that I wanted. So here was my outfit for the second run, which was, of course, during the actual like card show event. So I was able to do a lot better of the zebra print makeup with some nice kind of like pink at the top, and it really kind of like tied the skirt together. I also realized that while I did enjoy wearing the breastplate, because of how they kind of like sit on you like a tank top, I felt like I had to wear like a shrug over it to kind of cover that aspect. And I really liked from my original concept the like bare shoulders look. So I decided to go sans um, sans breastplate so I could do kind of the bare shoulders thing. All right. And this was an absolute hit. I absolutely love how the zebra pattern makeup came out. I think it looked so cute. And I think it did kind of tie everything together. So this was my outfit for the card show. All right, so let's actually get into the nitty gritty of the card show, the like card show trades, and we are going to start off. This was my first trade, and this was with a vendor who is at cavemon.tcg on Instagram. And I ended up trading out my Glaceon V Star for a really cool. I got Slacking, Camerupt, and a Manectric. And so these were, I believe, all from EX Ruby Sapphire. And like all holofoil. Generally, of course, like when trading and whatnot, the holofoils are like the hardest thing to like they're going to be the most expensive cards, so I really wanted to make sure that I was like using my super high value cards for these like holofoil trades. And one thing that was actually really cool was in addition to getting like three new cards, I also got like $6 in cash, making the like the my kind of shorthand for the cards for any type of trade plus three, three cards in, minus one card out, plus $6. So here's just kind of more close-ups of the cards. We have Slacking 12 out of 109, Manetric 9 out of 109, and Camerupt 4 out of 109. So these are all from EX Ruby Sapphire, and you can really see that nice like holofoil detail. So, really big fan. As I had mentioned, the Glaceon V-Star was from Crown Zenith, and I guess during this, I don't know, this era, they did a lot of these like special illustrated rares. They had their own man, what do you call it? They had their own like indexing system. So we had like double G 30 out of double G 70, whereas most cards will follow kind of a more conventional, um, will follow like a more conventional like X out of 109 or however many cards are in the series. All right. So next, after that one, we moved over to trade two. And this was with, they were at Papa Bear Hobbies, Bear B-A-R-E, not B-E-A-R, on Instagram. And this one, I know I was going mostly for e-reader cards, so I did kind of do a little bit like didn't quite follow my own rules on this one. Was a little bit of a rule breaker here. But the reason I kind of went for this one is so this is from EX Delta, sorry, not this is a Delta species Pokemon. And so you can see that this is a electric type Charmander when Charmander is of course generally a fire type, but not here. And the reason I was kind of like willing to, I don't want to say like compromise my compromise my beliefs for this one, but like I was willing to like move outside of my like trade trade binder series is because it was kind of for two reasons. So the first one being I do actually have the Charmeleon for this series, and like it has bothered me for a little bit that I have the Charmeleon, but I don't have like the Charmander. Like I can live with not having the Charizard, but like Charmander, I feel like is just kind of silly to not have if I'm going to have the Charmeleon. The other reason is because I felt like this was a very reasonable price, like $2 value for this card, which is, it is a Delta species. Charmander is a starter, and it's like a starter that people go freaking nuts for. Like when you're looking at card values, sort of the court of public opinion does like shape a little bit how the cards are valued, and generally things that are like any fan favorites as well as like starters, often legendaries, um, they're going to kind of make the prices a little bit higher even for these common cards. So I was like, ooh, let me go ahead and pick this up while I am here so I don't miss this. So what I ended up doing was trading out some of my like bulk hollow rares, and this one we ended up at +1, so one card in, -2, two cards out, and $0 in terms of money. Now, the cards that I did trade out were Mega Zygrade EX, and this one was from the new like uh what is it called? I think it's called Perfect Order. It's like the most recent, one of the more recent sets, and it's like a card that I pulled from a pack. And this, again, this is kind of where Pokemon like TCG is kind of like started to piss me off in terms of like their rarity system, because this is a rare card. This is a 2-star rare card even, and it is worth literally like jack fucking shit. It is like I had been trying to like trade this one out for like $1 credit or something. And like I had a lot of vendors tell me like no, like I literally don't even want this. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, this is supposed to be rare, and I am like struggling to get anything for it. Back to my makeup real quick. Something that I do kind of like to do sometimes, in addition to like, of course, under the eyebrow, I am going to put some like concealer foundation, just kind of smooth everything out and sort of cover the whatever's growing back in. But I do kind of sometimes like to put right underneath the brow a little bit of white. I think it just kind of makes everything, kind of like ties things together a little bit. And I think it looks kind of nice. So that's, and now like back to the Pokemon cards that are, kind of the more important thing. Okay, so that was my little tirade on the new rarity system. We have also, I was trading out Keldeo EX. I don't know or care who this Pokemon is. I know it is a legendary, but again, like these 2-star, like mega rares, or whatever they're called now, like you it is rare that a vendor is even like willing to accept them for like trade. They're like, no, we are like inundated with these cards. Like, we will not be accepting them at this time. So I was really glad that the vendor like took these cards, and I got this Delta Species Charmander. This is from the series EX Crystal Guardians towards the end of Generation 3 of printing. All right, then moving on to my next trade. This one was probably the one where I like traded the most cards out. And so this was with vendor who is Outskirt Stand on Instagram. And this one ended up being just kind of like I traded out a lot of my bulk, very like especially as bulk. So like just putting a bunch of cards together at once to like trade out. So in addition to the like e-reader bulk, the Delta Species bulk, the first edition Bellsprout, the Friends and Paldea, and also the $6. I actually had a total of like $9 in credit from all of those cards put together, and I kind of just capped this on my like little summary at the bottom as -15, because I'm like, I didn't count how many bulk cards there were, so I just kind of like put it at a relatively large number, which is why uh, I put the little caveat on my like total cards out, because I was trading out bulk, which I do kind of consider all one set. But more importantly than the cards that I traded out were the cards that I got in. And the ones that I got in were this absolutely gorgeous. I really want to start with Rosalia in the middle. I can't think about this. I can't like see this Pokemon's name without thinking now of like Rosalia the artist. Um, I don't know if, and I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with her. I was like introduced to her like, oh my God, it's been 6 years, and I know she's more popular now. But like at the time, and she's more popular now. I think kind of like doing more like Spanish pop. She is a Spain Spanish artist. So, Rosalia. And I really liked her, like, I think it was like her first and second album that I had heard. Very kind of like beautiful, slow. And so I like think about her, like, uh, name being like sung in one of her songs. Anytime I see like a Rosalia card, because I'm like, oh my God, Rosalia, I love you. So this one is from EX Dragon, and I was really excited to get this. It's holofoil, very beautiful, and the card art is just gorgeous. And like, what can I say? Like, I think she's just a beautiful Pokemon, and I was so stoked to be able to get this card. On the left, we have Voltorb, kind of like shy, maybe a little bit demure. I feel like it could also be kind of fear. This one is from Aquapolis, and you can kind of tell that it's Generation 2 because you can see how there is the thick yellow border both on the left and the bottom, whereas the Generation 3 e-reader cards only have it on the bottom here. That being said, I do like with the holofoils for like both of these generations, the holofoil cards do have some like extra little shiny lines in that thick border. So I was like, uh, again, this is probably one of my favorite trades just because I was so in love with this card and I was so happy that I was able to get it. Lastly, something else I did pick up was these two copies of Jigglypuff on the right. And with this vendor, they were doing like 50 cents per card. And like my like total credit had come out to like $9, which paid for the Voltorb and the Rosalia. And then, something I'll do when I'm like at these shows is like if I'm like $1 or something off, I'll just ask if they're like fine with that. I'm like, well, close enough. So can I do it? And the guy was generous enough to say yes. So I actually picked up this card for a friend. I liked the idea of me and a friend both having a copy. That way we could like, I think I am, sorry, pause. I think I am spraying the setting spray far too close to my face because it's supposed to like mist on instead of like I see little droplets. But anyway, this process of like going through and spraying setting spray in between like each coat of makeup that I was applying was absolutely like fantastically super helpful for my cosplay. I actually like kept that makeup on for like I probably put it on at like I don't know, 10 in the morning, and I had it on until like 2 a.m. I went to the card show and then I went to like a different late night event and I still had that makeup on. It still looked good. I got so many compliments on my eye makeup that night. And so, like, I think I learned this from influencer Jules LeBron on TikTok. So like definitely super helpful. And I just picked up like whatever the cheapest setting spray was. So like great idea. Instead of putting it on at the very end to hold everything together, like I just spray it on between each pass. So, sorry, back to the Jigglypuff. So, the reason that I picked up two copies is being able to like trade with my friends in turn, like while doing Pokemon cards is like super important to me because that's like what the game is. That's what this game is about. Like Pokemon TCG, that TCG is literally trading card game. Like this is quite literally the purpose of these cards. You're supposed to trade them with your friends. So I absolutely love like being able to like I love trading. I enjoy so I wanted to like pick up a copy for both them and and we could like put them. I like to also put them in sleeves and then sign the card sleeves and like give little messages to each other. And their favorite Pokemon is Jigglypuff. So I just absolutely love this card. I love that it still included the old fairy type, which was like introduced at one point and then promptly like pulled out for whatever reason. So, like, fairy type is no longer a typing in the, like, TCG, despite dragon type still being there. Like, dragon type was introduced to the TCG, but they never pulled that out. So, like, cards now, modern cards, will will have dragon typings, but for whatever reason, that's probably something for me to do a little bit more research on. They like pulled the fairy typing, which was introduced to be effective against dragon types because dragon types became so like OP because they didn't have like any other weakness. I think it was just to other dragon types. So fairy type was introduced. But, then they pulled it back out. So there was like a limited run of like fairy type Pokemon and then never again. I also really like this card just because I really like seeing these card arts with multiple Pokemon in them. Like, I love the Spoink, I love the Snivy, and so it's just like a fun little scene of these Pokemon. Okay, so this trade four was with vendor who is silentpanda.inc on the Instagram. This was probably also one of my favorite trades just because I was able to get so many cards out of it. So in my shorthand, I call this +7 -2 0, where I was able to get in seven cards, seven new to me cards. I only traded out two cards and didn't have to use any cash. Now, this is also an example of what I call of those one of those like duplicate trade tactics that I was talking about. So this is what I call a like reverse holofoil trade. So I had these kind of reverse holofoil cards, this lightly played Aeron that I had picked up. I don't even know when, years ago. It must have been years ago based on these prices because I had picked up a lightly played Aeron for $5 and a moderately played Ammonite. Both of these are reverse hollow, by the way. So a reverse hollow, lightly played Aeron, $5, and a a moderately played reverse hollow foil Ammonite for $3. And like certainly this was years ago because if you look at the prices now, ooh, let's take that out of here. I don't want my hair on my face. Um, if you kind of see what the prices are now, we have $3 for a non-holofoil Ammonite and $3 for a non-holofoil Aeron. So, and obviously, like, I was able to trade for quite a bit of value. I think I got like I think it was something to the extent of like $15 to $17 in credit like per card. And then, of course, they kind of trade it. All of these vendors will trade at some percentage, 80%, 75%, who knows? It's always fucking something. Um, and like, and so, like, the fact that I at one point was able to pick up a reverse holofoil ammonite for the same amount that a non holofoil ammonite is now going for is like pretty crazy and just kind of like demonstrative of just how expensive cards have gotten now. Where like these are like these are like common cards. They're, for the most part, not all of them, but they are kind of like common cards. And so the fact that it's like, okay, we have very similar pricing from holofoil, so from reverse holofoil to non holofoil, that's pretty crazy. Generally, having it like a reverse holofoil will like more than double the price, like triple, quadruple, depending on like what Pokemon it is. So just the idea of like having these kind of oop, I dropped my makeup sponge. Uh just having these kind of like similarities in pricing just really shows like kind of the trajectory of these cards. So this is just kind of a little bit of a close up. I did also I have this little purple heart here, just kind of as a marking for chase cards. So this is a trade that I was kind of chasing for specifically, was to utilize this reverse holofoil trading tactic to get more cards. So that's one of the reasons I would say that this was kind of one of my more favorite, was kind of extra happy with this trade, because this kind of tactic is exactly why I made a list prior to this event of specifically what reverse holofoil cards I had, was so I could make trades like this and get credit for them. Oh, let me actually like go through and like read out what these cards were. So the cards that I got were a combination of just, I guess, more an array, a variety of cards. So in this set, in this trade we had some EX Ruby Sapphire, we had some EX Sandstorm, we had some EX Dragon. So like just a little bit of everything, and that I was really stoked about. So okay. Now, moving on to trade number five. This one I actually goofed up on. I was like, you know what? I really like this EXT Magma versus Team Aqua series, and I'm really excited about it. Like, I see this Team Magma's Houndoom, and I really should have checked. I had been checking for a couple of other trades, my like TCG collector, um, not app, website, where I keep track of all of the cards that I have. And I should have checked it for this one. For some reason in my head, I was like, oh, I don't have this one. Like, let me pick this up. It's only $2. And when I got home and I looked and I was like, oh, oops, I do already have this one actually. Thankfully, I did just trade out a bulk card, so this is an unlimited Jungle Edition Pikachu. And, because it's Pikachu and everyone fucking loves Pikachu, it's, the like official mascot Pokemon of Pokemon. It I was able to at least to just like give this single card out for this Team Magma's Houndoom. And like I do this occasionally. I think it's, kind of just part of the fun of the game. And it's like when I, accidentally trade for cards that I already own, or like buy it when I'm buying cards on eBay and I buy cards that I already own. Like if I end up if I end up with duplicates, what I will generally do is keep the card in the lowest condition, the worst condition, and then like make the other one like put the other one in kind of like the tradable section. So definitely at least one copy of Team Magma's Houndoom is going to be back in my like tradable circulation. So that'll be uh, easy. But anyway, like overall, I mean, at plus one, minus one, zero, like it's not a big deal. Um, so I'm not like too upset by it. All right. Now going on to trade six, trade is not actually like what I would call this. Like this was not actually a trade. This was actually just like a very generous gift from vendor at Jodo Jewels on Instagram. And so this was also one of my chase cards. So this is Trico 16, is a Black Star promo. And during this like Black Star promo era, because like I'm I'm a little unclear as to why this is, but sometimes some of the cards would have like the e-reader bars, sometimes they wouldn't. And it's kind of like and so allegedly, this is what I was told by Jodo Jules, is that my copy that was without the e-reader bar was like the extra rare version from specific tins, and they did not have the e-reader cards. And they had had both the copy that I had had and this copy, which was moderately played uh, Trico Black Star promo, uh, for like $5. And while I've been talking to him and telling him, like I'm specifically looking for e-reader cards for my collection, so and I have this other one that I'm trying to trade out. And like interestingly enough, like the copy that he had that was like from the tin was like he had listed it as $100. Um and I'm still a little bit confused about that valuation. I think I need to do a little bit more research into it, probably looking at like the ID number on the cards down kind of at the very bottom, because like when I briefly like looked it up on my phone on eBay, I was like, I am definitely not seeing that $100 valuation. I am seeing these Trico Black Star promos without the e-reader bar, but I am not seeing it at this price point. So, like, I was a bit skeptical. But I mean, like, I was mostly just very excited to get this card. This was one of my chase cards. I had really wanted this, like the e-reader Black Star promo. And so I was kind of excited to get this into my collection, especially just like super generously for free. Whoops. Also, while I am doing beauty stuff with you, I think I'm just gonna do my eyebrows. Especially because I do not have any at the moment. I had taken them all off for the cosplay, but now they are done. So it's eyebrows are a combination of black eyeliner. I try and do also brown eyeliner, and some brown like eyebrow pencil. And then I go through with the side of the eyebrow pencil. For those of you that aren't familiar, there's like two sides to it. There is this what's called a spoolie side apparently, and it's just like a little like brush to kind of give your eyebrows a little bit of that kind of like hair texture and look. So you just kind of like brush them off, as well as kind of like a pencil crayon side in brown. So that's like what I do for the eyebrows to kind of get them to a like deep brown, like brown black that sort of match my like natural brows, which are just darker than my hair. And then I like to go through, do some concealer, and I also did some like white shimmery powder, just white shimmery like eye eye makeup eyeliner underneath the brow. I think it just kind of highlights the shape pretty nicely. But I think I'm gonna leave the rest of my face bare. But I'm not gonna stop with kind of the like beauty production. So I'm going to go ahead and put my nail back on and just kind of like put back the nails that fell off. This is my first time wearing press-ons, and like it does make a lot of things harder to do. Typing was a challenge. Earrings were a challenge. I actually need to put some back in so the holes don't close up. Taking off and putting on earrings, very challenging. And like, oh my goodness. But I mean, the ability to kind of like tap on things and do the ASMR is just fantastic. So, like, you win some, you lose some, and I do really like seeing the nails on me. I like because I feel like with my like nail beds, they're generally like kind of weird and stubby. I do also have a problem of like picking at my nails, biting my nails sometimes. And so like occasionally they do get pretty long. Um and they look quite nice, but they haven't recently. So I did actually, I am really enjoying having the press-ons on. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the ones that fell off. All right. Putting this one back on. Is this the right finger? Oh my goodness, I don't think it is. Oh, no, we're fine. We're fine. Okay, so this was trade 7, and this was from Kingdom Games, who is kingdomgames.us.us online. Definitely check them out. Very sweet. And so, with this trade in my shorthand, we were +2, -5, and 0. So I was able to get 2 new cards, trade out 5 cards, and of course, 0 cash exchanged, which always great for me and how I kind of do my like trading principles. I will say this was not exactly a reverse holofoil trade. It was similar, and you're I know that it kind of looks deceiving in that like the Butterfree in the middle here, as you can see kind of with these like striations, is reverse holofoil, but this one on the bottom is not. And like while they are like while I did trade in a reverse holofoil for a non-holofoil, these were actually not the same card. In these older generations, definitely in generations like 1, 2, possibly 3, I'd have to do some more checking. But definitely in generations 1 and 2, it was a very common practice for the holofoil rares and the non-holofoil rares to be the same artwork. And like what this meant was like you had a holofoil version and a non-holofoil version often of each of like the rare cards, and the distinction would be very specifically the index number, and that's how you would differentiate these. I will also say the Suicune was a chase card, and so it gets a little heart. I had specifically been looking for these like Wizards of the Coast. Actually, I think this one might have been the Nintendo Black Star promos, and yeah, you can see at the bottom where it's the trademark 2000 Pokemon slash Nintendo. So this was into the Nintendo era of printing. Um, and this is from the Pokemon Forever movie. So I was really excited about this trade. So the reason that I said that this isn't quite like a reverse holofoil trade was because if we look at this Butterfree, so this is Butterfree index number 5 out of 165, which indicates that while it is a reverse holofoil, it was a reverse holofoil of a card that was already a holofoil. And so it's like, for me personally, I definitely prefer the holofoil versions over the like reverse holofoil versions. And so with this card, I had actually been looking to like trade it out for a like holofoil version of the Butterfree, see if I could like trade up and use the reverse holofoil copy as kind of like credit towards the card. But because I decided that, I really wanted this like Suicune card. I like this was definitely a chase card. I feel like I very rarely see these Nintendo Black Star promos with the like Generation 2 style e-reader cards. I was like, I am willing to trade my reverse holofoil like 5 out of 165 Butterfree for the like non holofoil like the double non holofoil. It's not regular holofoil. It's also not reverse holofoil. Butterfree 38 out of 165 because of the much like lower or like the much larger index number. It indicates that it's kind of like further down the set list of the series' expedition. And this would indicate that this one would not have been holofoil, whereas the Butterfree that I had, the reverse holofoil, should have been holofoil. Um, so it was not exactly a reverse holofoil trade, but because I was able to get one of my chase cards, I am pretty happy with it. I also kind of just want to mention some of the other cards that I traded out. So this is more Wizards of the Coast bulk, who were the original manufacturers of the like Pokemon TCG. And so these kind of like very nostalgic card layouts, those were from the Wizards of the Coast era. And so the ones that were kind of like pulled from bulk were this is Energy Search from uh, Fossil, Switch from base set 2, Scoop Up from the Unlimited base set, and this like absolutely iconic, super adorable Eevee from the original Team Rocket series. So with these, I was able to kind of trade out some of my bulk cards for some other cards that I was for this for specifically it was basically this Suicune. And also I get to keep a Butterfree. Okay, so then moving on to trade number 8. And remember, I did do 9 trades this day. Technically, I did only 8 of them at the card show. We'll talk about the last one. I still consider it like 9 trades. Um, and this one I was towards like the end of the. Ooh, sorry, I'm trying to put my nail back on. So this was towards the end of my time at the card show. I had I had just kind of like asked. I had been kind of passing by and had like talked to this table, and we were just kind of chatting about cards, and they had actually asked what my favorite Pokemon was. And when I said, my favorites are Espeon, they are Espeon, Milotic, and Frostlass. They actually gave me a really cute pair of Espeon earrings. These kind of sweet little gold tone hardware with like a kind of like an Espeon pendant, and if if they are like kind of like thread back earrings. I guess professionally I'm in the jewelry field, so I tend to know a lot of the like niche terms for what the different types of like earrings are. Anyway, but because they had done this, I was like, do you have any e-reader cards? And like they were really nice and were and ended up helping me kind of search through their like, you know, bajillion cards to pick out a couple uh, e-reader cards. And what I ended up deciding on was this Expedition Polyrath damaged um, reverse holofoil. This is also index number 60 out of 165. So while there is a holofoil version of this Polyrath, this one would have been the non-holofoil version. And like the reason that I chose specifically this card as like my target card was because it was a couple of reasons. So the first one being this card art is done by Yukamori. Oh, hello, cute Maries. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for following. I'm doing good. How about yourself? And so, kind of back to the Polyrath. So Yukamori is one of my favorite Pokemon artists, and she does these super cute clay. I call them claymation figures. They're just sculpted out of clay, and she actually did the entire Polyrath line. Illustrate like Not illustration because she's not an illustrator exactly. She's, I mean, I guess she is, but she's like a more of a sculptor. Anyway, and so I had already had the Poliwag and the Poliwhirl, like Yukamori cards from Expedition. That's the series this is from. And, and so I guess like it wasn't intentionally a chase card per se, but I was really glad that I was able to pick this one up as well and just kind of like complete that evolutionary line. Now, the card that I did trade out for this was my Reverse Hollow Darkness Energy from this is EX Ruby Sapphire. And like something kind of to note about this card is I'd actually had both a fire energy, and I had offered both a fire energy and a dark energy that were reverse holofoil, and like this vendor who is at big underscore brandos underscore breaks on Instagram and also big brandos breaks on YouTube. Um, it's like he had actually passed on the reverse holofoil fire type in favor of just the darkness energy. And I think that like this is also kind of partially where the court of public opinion comes in a little bit. So the darkness energy and the metal energy are both like considered rare cards. They have the rare marker, which is the small black star in the bottom right hand corner of these cards. I think now in modern cards, they're like in the bottom left corner, something like that. But like he ended up passing on the fire type energy in lieu of just this one. And so it's a little bit of like a combination of like the rarity plays a small part in this, as well as like I think like darkness energy is just kind of more preferred by like the court of public opinion. So, always just kind of an interesting thing to kind of factor into card valuation, especially for training. It's kind of like where, uh, when when I'm talking about some of like starters versus like evolutions are always like insanely more valuable than any of their other counterparts, uh, et cetera, et cetera. So cute Marie's. Cute Mary's. You have a suggestion for me? Yeah, go ahead and share it. I would appreciate that. And so I was very happy to pick this one up. I also like did not have a duplicate of this darkness energy, so like after I did this trade, I like immediately went on eBay and was looking for like darkness energy EX Ruby Sapphire free shipping, and I found one for like $1.50, and I was like sold. And so that one is on its way. So, moving into my final trade of the day, this one's kind of an interesting story. So, this one was with a company vendor called Baseball Cards and Memorabilia. This is their website, baseballcardsandmemorabilia.com. They also have a brick and mortar location with like just an absolute ton of cards. And so this vendor was, so I didn't, okay. So for this vendor, I had met them at the card show because they were specifically offering grading services. And so I had had this Dialga EX, like this was a card that I think I pulled, or like boyfriend at the time pulled it like years ago. This was probably like a solid 10 years ago now. I think I was like 19, 20, and I am coming up on 30. So like this is a nearly decade old card. In addition to it being very old, this was like this was a secret rare. Back when like there were not that many secret rares from a set, if any. So this one is Dialga EX number 122 out of 119. So like this card was like very rare. So I had brought it with me because I had very specifically been looking to make this type of trade. I was trying to trade on condition. My copy was a was lightly played, and I was looking for like a damaged or heavily played copy of this card. And I had been asking like every single vendor that I had seen while I was there, like, hey, do you have this card? And like, I did not see it once. I pretty much everyone that I talked to had had not seen it in quite some time, if ever. And so I was initially I had started talking to the um, I don't know, vendor representative from the baseball cards and memorabilia, uh, because I was considering getting this card graded. Now, I knew that it wasn't going to be like a PSA, whatever, PSA 10, 9, whatever. I knew that, like, for lightly played, I think you're generally looking at, like, maybe a 7, like, possibly an 8, but, like, with the way that I have always kind of, like, been very interested in like using my Pokemon cards, being able to like touch them and like organize them and play with them and interact with them, I was like, yeah, we're not looking at like the gem mints or like the mint or near mint or whatever. So, but the reason I had been thinking about getting this card graded is I knew that this is definitely one of my more like rare and expensive cards. So that I was already quite certain. And so I had been at the vendor table talking to the person about, like, oh, like I'm considering getting this card graded. It was always with the intention of being able to trade it for a more damaged version. Um, but like as I was kind of filling out the info, it was like, okay, it's going to be a $35 charge to like even it's like it was going to be like a $35 charge to get it graded plus an additional like 20 $30 for insurance just because of the cost of the card. Now, I do kind of want to like mention that he had the vendor that I had worked with had kind of said like, oh, this is like this is like $1,000 card, and like I was sort of looking at the TCG. So this is from pricecharting.com. And like with the copy that I had had, I was likely looking at about like a PSA. I think between like a PSA 7 and 8, sort of depending on the company. I know that like I think PSA is one of the like more highly valued, like or well respected card grading companies. Whereas I think there's also like there's PSA, there's I guess CGC, as well as I think this company was like Diamond Grading Services, so DGS. Um, and like I and so like I had been considering getting it graded, and so when the vendor had said like, oh, this is like $1,000 card, I think that it could be it could have been $1,000 card if it was in like the lightly play if it was in like a near mint condition, but mine was kind of what I would guess to be between grade like 7 and 8, probably closer to 7. And so like when the vendor actually mentioned like, "Hey, we have a damaged copy of this card," and I was like, "Oh, perfect. I actually prefer not to like deal with card grading. I think it kind of creates like an artificial rarity, has like an artificial like it I think kind of like the whole grading system is just kind of like artificially like boosting the cost of cards. And so I was like, I would actually prefer like to be able to like trade this, just like trade it straight. And so when I had gone to the brick and mortar store from the convention center, they're in the same city. They were like 5 minute drive away. Um, I ended up like trading in my Dialga EX, my lightly played one, for their damaged copy. And you can see like we have this corner here is lifting. If we looked at the back of the card, there was also quite a bit of like whitening, and uh, I think I ended up trading it in at like, I got like $475 in credit, something around there, at about like, and that was at like 80%, which kind of like falls sort of in the middle of this like ungraded. It was more like had a higher valuation than like this like ungraded. Um, but not like I think I had been hoping for a little bit more. Sorry. We're going to go back to this one. And so that's why this one at the +4 -2 +97, this was the kind of like culmination of my like of the like trade credit that I had received for the card with with between the Dialga EX as well as this reverse holofoil damaged Venusaur, and that's going to come up later. Like between these two cards, I had like some $500 in credit, and so I was able to get like, or yeah, I was able to get like $200 card and then like another $100 cards, and like, well, between these two it was like, anyway, I was able to get like an additional $97 in store credit. Like, that's always kind of the hard thing about kind of like selling these cards. It's like, because they're businesses, they're always going to accept at like some rate that isn't 100 or whatever. And, who knows? So, I was very excited about this Dialga trade. Um, a bit underwhelmed, I think, at the price that I was quoted, but I mean, ultimately, I am not a big fan of graded cards, and like, I think the mention of like the $1,000 card was a little bit off, just kind of given what the condition of the card was. Like, I don't think I would have broken 1,000 on that trade regardless, because I was looking more at like the high three figures. That being said, I do have other cards that are like worth more than this one. This is not my rarest card. It is definitely one of them, but I am overall pretty happy with like just kind of being able to go through this process of trading on condition, especially since I very rarely get to do that. So the next thing I wanted to kind of go through was this was a very interesting kind of trade. So I had in November 2022, so 3.5 years ago, almost going on 4 years ago, I had purchased on eBay a damaged, visibly damaged. Like, I have a picture of the card right here. There is like a giant crease right in the middle. Damaged reverse holofoil Venusaur, $4, $3.82, and I pulled this chart from PokemonWizard.com. And so, like, if we look at the line in red, that is the reverse holofoil price versus the line in like dark gray, that is the non holofoil, the normal version. And so back in 2022, we were already getting like a great deal. I know that, technically, like on like damaged cards, that is going to sort of like affect the value, that is going to affect the valuation and kind of drive it down. But like, $4, and this is a starter. I would also say, kind of within talking about like starters and like popularity, I I would speculate that of the like three of like the evolutionary line, the basic form and the final evolution are going to be like the most valuable. I find that generally whatever's like the middle one, people are kind of less inclined to. I guess it's maybe just because it's generally like a transition Pokemon. Like, it's either like, oh, this is my starter. This was, the Pokemon that I like picked at the beginning of the game or whatever. This is like the first evolution. It's so cute. And then like you have like the middle evolution, which is kind of like your awkward teenage years. Um, then finally moving up to your final evolution, which is like, oh yeah, this is the one that I use like for battling, and this is the really cool one, final evolution. So I feel like in terms of value with these like any type of like any with these like evolution with these starter evolutionary lines, there's kind of like a U shape in value where like the middle evolution is kind of like eh compared to the basic evolution or the final evolution. And that's just my speculation. Now, I was able to get a non holofoil Venusaur. This is index number 68 out of, I want to say 147 in Expedition, 165. So this was like a true, like, reverse holofoil trade where they had the same index numbers. And so I was able to get this $30 near mint Venusaur and actually trade in the card that I paid less than $4 for, even at its like damaged condition. I got $35 in credit because it was the reverse holofoil and the like, and final evolution starter. So if we kind of look at like the market values, these are generally going to be for like, I would say probably like near mint or lightly played. Like the even like the low or like the average market rates for like the reverse holofoil was like 120. We have the low at like about $50, and I would say that that's probably like moderately played, heavily played range. So this like $35 like damaged valuation is pretty crazy, especially for a card that I picked up 4 years ago for less than $4. And like, yeah, I had had other pretty damaged holofoil, reverse holofoil cards that like did not have the same response. I had a lot of people passing on some of my like damaged reverse holofoil cards just because they were in such like poor condition. But because this one is like a final evolution of a starter, like I like the value of the reverse holofoil, even in its damaged state, was enough for me to get the like normal copy plus some additional credit. The last two cards that I picked up were from the baseball cards and memorabilia store were this holofoil damaged Porygon. This is Porygon 103A out of 147. And this like delineation with like there is a version of this Porygon, there is a Porygon A and a Porygon B. So in this set, this is Aquapolis. In this set, there were actually four different Pokemon that had both an A and a B like card printing. The other ones were Mr. Mime, Drowsy, Porygon, and Golduck. And so when I was kind of like researching them, just to kind of see what this was about. Apparently, it corresponded to what the e-reader card encoded uh, in kind of the game that it matches with. So it had like different mini games depending on which copy. Um, and so the this was actually on my chase cards list. This Porygon 103A. And I had been pretty excited to like actually pick this one up because for the Mr. Mime and Drowsy, I had actually had one of the two versions, but Porygon had been one that I actually like didn't have at all, and so I was happy that I actually was able to grab this one. The other card that I picked up in this trade, the +4, -2, +97, was this Golem from the Expedition set. And this one, index number 14 out of 165, so we are looking at a holofoil card. And so I was really excited to pick this one up, like, because of how like vintage it is, how old the card is. Because it's a holofoil, like these do generally tend to be, of course, like a lot pricier. So they are kind of harder for me to come by, especially as someone who doesn't like to pay for cards. For myself, generally, I try and stick with like I think the max that I like generally pay for cards is around like $5 a card. If and that tends to be me on eBay, to be honest. It's more of like me, yeah, it's more of me on eBay. And so like anyway, I was really excited to be able to get this Golem card as well. All right, so I just wanted, before we kind of get into the next part of the show, sorry, I'm doing a time check. Okay, we're like halfway through oh, we're actually at the end of my time slot. I think this one's just going to be kind of a long, this one's going to be a long episode, just because, like, again, so much to talk about in this card show. I'm going to be moving all of my makeup, and, like, much to discuss. Plus, I do want to kind of get into just like um, looking at the cards and sleeving them and kind of go through the process of organizing them a little bit, which I think will be fun. So that is to come. Now, just to kind of summarize everything that happened at the card show, I did I would say that my stats were 9 trades across 9 vendors. We did plus 24, minus 28 with a caveat, plus 97 with another caveat. So the caveats being the minus 28, this included a bunch of like cards that I traded as bulk. So it's kind of weird to count them as like each individual card because I knew that there was going to be 5, 10, 15 all together at once. That's, how bulk works. And then the $97 is store credit. It was not cash. So that's the other caveat. I did want to make an honorable mention to this Skitty card, and this was from EX Sandstorm 79 out of 100. I had seen this card at a vendor, and like, I was like, oh, perfect. I have this as a reverse holofoil, and I would be willing to trade it down for additional credit. And so when I had like presented the card as an option, the vendor was like, like I don't really know too much about vintage and had like not wanted to do the trade, even though I'm, as someone who does deal mostly with vintage cards, like I'm like, no, like this is a great, like you are getting something much more valuable than the card that I am looking for. But I think that like I think I just should have bought it anyway because like after I had left and I'd been walking around a little bit, I did go back to see if they still had it because I was like, you know what? I could just get this one for myself and then I could just like take the reverse holofoil skitty that I have and just like bump that to like bump that into my like tradables and like just kind of trade from there. But by the time I went back, the skitty was gone. And I was like, oh, damn, that's unfortunate. So, you know, I would say honorable mention to the skitty that got away. But, I had a really good time at the show. So, another kind of just like summary point in terms of chase cards, I was able to pick up what I call 7.5 of my chase cards, the half being my like butterfree reverse holofoil trade. I had been trying to go for the holofoil butterfree, not the like non holofoil butterfree in terms of trading. But, I was just like, I was willing to forego that in order to get a different chase card, which was the Suicune Black Star promo. So, like you win some, you mostly win some. And then in terms of my cosplay, I do want to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I do think that going into like next time, I want to figure out a different, like, I want to figure out a different top. I think that um, while the corset is a really cute idea, I think that because the colors are not quite there, it does make me I do want to get things that are a little bit closer to the actual like colors of the ETB. Um, I will say huge improvement in my makeup. I was so much happier with how it turned out this time. I did get new products this time, and was really stoked with how they turned out, as well as I do want to do something a little bit different. I like the idea of this collar. I really like the concept of the collar. What I didn't quite like was the color. It is not quite the magenta of the ETB. It's more of like a hot pink. And so also using a hat that I just kind of like cut the top off of is not quite it kind of oh, I forgot the word for it. It is no longer in that shape. And so I definitely want to do something different on that point. But like overall, I was really happy with how the cosplay turned out. I did get a lot of compliments, and I think the makeup was just stellar and actually lasted me like over 12 hours, well into the evening, where I still got a lot of compliments. Okay, so now that now that we are kind of at the end of the show, well, now that we're kind of at the end of my PowerPoint for now. I do want to kind of keep streaming, go into more of like the updating my TCG trackers. I have my TCG collector lists that I want to update, as well as kind of like sleeving the cards and whatnot. Um, I think I will take a quick break here. So we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a break and then probably come back in like 10, 15 minutes maybe and start going through all of the cards. So thank you so much for coming so far, and I'll be back. Let me put up a "we'll be back" sign. Be back at, it's like 3:10. Let's say 3:25. They're gonna be. Okay, I wanna. Oop! I didn't want to do that. Here we go. All right. So thank you so much, and I will see you again soon. Let me go ahead and put some music on as well. Okay. All right, welcome back. So, we are going to do some card sleeving and whatnot. And before, I'm still kind of trying to figure out exactly how to position these. So, bear with me. But anyway, before we do that, before we go through, do some sleeving, do some list updating, I actually want to go through and open more eBay cards. Yeah, I've been, you know, maybe doing some reckless. Oop, that's not what I wanted. That's good. I wanted to go through and open some of the cards that I've been purchasing on eBay, especially since I'll be some of them are within the sets that I am going to be, updating. So I want to make sure that I have all of the most recent information. So let's hold on. Oop, not like that. Hmm. All right, so let's go through and open up some cards. All right, so let's see. Uh-oh, my shadow. So this is stamped EX Power Keepers energy removal 2. So not within the scope of the e-readers, but I am such a sucker for these like stamped cards. They are some of my favorites. This is also Generation 3 printing, so just like EX just like the EX Ruby Sapphire, the EX EX Sandstorm and Dragon. This is actually kind of towards the end of the Generation 3, and this is EX Power Keeper is a kind of like a collection that I keep special because I do have some of like the super ultra rare cards from this set, and so I was happy about this purchase, especially just kind of this right here, the EX Power Keeper insignia. So I'm going to put that kind of to the side. And let's open our next pack. Well, not really a pack, I guess. Let's open our next envelope. Hold on. There we go. Oh, how cute. Put this in a little thank you bag. Finally. All right. So this is Yukamori illustrated Nummel from this is EX Sandstorm. So let me. I'm actually going to kind of keep this for now. I did organize my pile while I was kind of like on that little break. Uh, by like set. So let me add this. This is going to go towards the end. I'm so I'm going to add this into EX Sandstorm. Okay, let's keep going. Trying to like figure out where exactly I'm supposed to be positioning everything. People package things in just some of the most interesting ways. Mm, hold on. There we go. All right. You guys are just gonna have to forgive. So anyway, this is Goldine. This is from EX Ruby Sapphire. Now do notice that they doesn't have the like e-reader bar on the bottom, so that is good kind of for me to note, and I'm glad that we opened this before. Sorry, I'm gonna scoot my chair in. Before we like went through some of my lists because it's like this will probably be something that I look to like trade up. So I'll just kind of like keep my eyes peeled for this one. All right, I'm gonna stick it with the ruby and sapphire ones. And we continue. I have had a lot of time on my hands to look through a lot of Pokemon card listings on eBay. Steal this computer book 5K? Oh, I got a free Bleach card. Does anyone like Bleach? Some Tails TCG, Tails eBay. For a second, I did think that said Tails eGay. Not gonna lie. Oh, and this is my Bleach card. I I guess I technically have seen several episodes of Bleach, but like I don't quite remember or actually care anything about it. So I am mostly here for this Magnemite. Put that Bleach card to the side. So this Magnemite is from EX Dragon. So let me go ahead and put that into the pile with the other EX Dragons. Ooh, someone put, oh my goodness. I don't know how well y'all can see this, but so much tape everywhere. This is going to call for some scissors. Oh, look at how cute this is. So this is just a very adorable Anorith. This is actually from EX Hidden Legends. So not really within our range. I am going to put it in the like other card stack. But I just thought this one, the card art was just so cute. Like, look at him. With his big eyes. Adorable. All right. So we've got two more. Got this one, and then one more after it. Cutting this with some scissors. Ooh, how nice. Wait, the card fell out. Excellent. So this is Laron from EX Ruby Sapphire. So I'm glad I will have almost the full evolutionary line. Let me put it with the other EX Ruby Sapphires. Great. And our very last one. I'm also just going to use scissors for this one. Just cut up here. Oh, I think this was from the same vendor. So this is one of the Aerons, also from EX Ruby Sapphire. I believe this one was one that I was missing. So I'm going to go ahead, put that in as well. And now I'm going to switch us kind of back to the like PowerPoint presentation so we can go through the we're going to go through my TCG dashboard. Okay. Let me switch us on back over. All right, so we don't need this anymore. And let me, oh, not that. Sorry. Another camera. Is it that one? No, I think it's this one. Oh, that is not the one my bad. There we go. Okay. So now, let's see. Let's go through Expedition. So, okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. I am going to be a bit, I guess, persnickety is a way to say it, and I am going to put them in like index number order. I think that'll just make it a lot easier when we are going through. So first, of course, we have this holofoil golem, then Butterfree, uh, Butterfree, Golem, Poliwrath, Venusaur. They're alphabetical, and then of course trainer cards are at the very end. Where did my card sleeves go? Here we go. I'm going to move these for now. All right. So we're going to go to my dashboard, sets in my collection, and we will start with the Expedition base set. All right, so from this event, we did add, this is going to be our normal holo, Golem, 14 out of 165. I do also kind of want to like go through and maybe, oh, and then we actually need to take this out. I no longer have that. All right. So other ones that I do have from this set, and especially the holofoils, I do have this Doug Trio. And this Kingler, I actually have the reverse holofoil version. So like not not the holofoil version. It is something that was on my list to trade up and out, but I, did not see a copy. So the hunt continues. Also, when I do my card sleeving, I really like to keep any like tags that I got. Like if there was like a price tag on it, I absolutely love keeping those. And I like that this is moderately played. Tap tap tap. So let me just make sure that you guys can see that okay. Perfect. Moderately played. This is also, I also think these like little stickers are super helpful if in the event that like I want to ever trade on condition, because there's kind of like an already agreed upon like condition marking. So what I've gotten into the habit of doing is I like to put the date. So the date of this show was 5/30/26. I actually need to put something hard underneath this because it is quite, the table is wood texture, has a wood texture. And then I like to put like where I got the card from. So this one was from baseball. Oop. This was baseball cards and memorabilia. Cool. Oh, sorry. Let me grab one more thing. That was my. So the other thing that I wanted to grab was my sticker stuff. I want to put little stickers on for any like chase cards, as well as if I have like information on the back of the card. I would like to put a marking on it to indicate that there's like more information on the back. So going back to the TCG collector list. Another holofoil that I do have that I really love is my Mew card. So she's absolutely gorgeous in real life. This is probably one of my very first like rare cards as well. And I have always just like super cherished it. And so I am so glad to have that in my collection. Mew is such an adorable Pokemon. I've always loved that illustration, and the holofoil is just so gorgeous. Here's that Poliwrath that I mentioned, the holofoil Poliwrath. And now, getting into the non-holofoils, we're going to add our Butterfree to the collection. Just normal, not reverse. Add to collection. Alright, so we have Butterfree. And I did go through the past couple of days and prep a bunch of the like tags and everything so that moving into today I would be able to just kind of like sleeve them super easy. So let's go ahead and put in our Butterfree with the price tag. I really enjoy having the like price tags in it. Tap 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 tap. There we go. just because I think it's really interesting to see like how the prices change over time. So this one, we're also going to add the date of the card show. And I believe, let me switch back to here we go. This is Kingdom Games. Oop, not that one. There we go. I'm not going to put a like chase card sticker on this one just because like the card I was chasing was actually the like holofoil butterfree, and while I don't like dislike this card, the like reverse holofoil trade I did for it was more for the Suicune chase card. So this one I am going to leave blank in that regard. All right. Then moving forward to the holofoil, the non-holofoil golem. Let's scoot down here. I do have the Feraligatr and the Clefable. Welcome aboard, golem. Non-holofoil. I do also like that I now have of the like Geodude evolution, the full like the full evolutionary line of this set. I have the Golem, a lot like both versions of Golem, and the like Geodude and Graveler. And I think with this set, they may not have done as many like duplicates, like of the not duplicates exactly, but like multiple different arts of the various cards. Like we'll see later in like EX Ruby and Sapphire, they had like multiple. We had like three different Corpish, three different Makuhitas. Why? I don't know, but they were all there. Okay, so where did this golem come from? Where did I get you? No. No. I think I must be missing a trade in here. Because I got this golem and then another thing. Okay. So I am not sure. But that's okay. So let me at least mark it with the correct date. And then I'm just going to leave the vendor name blank. So that's our non-holofoil golem. Then moving along, we do have Poliwrath, and she is a reverse holo, so we're going to add that. I'm so excited to file this one, just because like I have the full Yukimori evolution. I guess I probably should have had this one down as a chase card because I did have another evolutionary line that she did all of the all of the card illustrations for as a chase card. That was the Jumpluff, Skiploom, and sorry, Hoppip, Skiploom, and Jumpluff line. All right, so on the back, and this was at big underscore Brandos. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. It's fine. Okay, let's try that again. Big. Oh, fuck, I miss. Okay. I misspelled it. Alright, we're just gonna use another card sleeve. It's fine. Okay. Re-sleeving it again. And I like to make the, like, little, any of the tags go kind of towards the bottom of the card. Just, ugh, I think it just makes it easier. Good enough. Okay. Let me try writing this again. It's at big underscore Brandos. Nice. Underscore breaks. There we go. All right, we got it this time. And that was May 30th. All right, moving down the line, I do have the Raichu. And this one I am going to need to switch out. We no longer have the reverse holofoil, but we do have the normal. Close. Excellent. Okay. So here is the Venusaur card. I also made this little like card on the back that talks about, like, okay, so we purchased a reverse holofoil copy on this date for this much. Then on, May 30th, we purchased the non holofoil for this price. And the damaged card in trade value was this much. So this one, just because of the size of this little card that I made, we are going to put it on the back, which means this will be my first time using a sticker as, like, information on the back. And we're going to have to go through and figure out which sticker. I also, like, have a bunch of stickers that I use, so I think this will be kind of just like a fun, creative. Oop, sorry. As I said, it's going on the back. Kind of like the old library cards. So there we go. Okay. So now I have my giant thing of stickers, and I need to find something small to indicate that we should check the back. Or something that I can, like, write to say, like, check back. I don't want anything textured. I mean, I could always... Ooh. Could always use, like, something like this. But I kind of wanted to be a little bit more exciting. Where is... Ooh. I have an idea. So from my little Twin Star book, I have this sticker. Where did my fine tip Sharpie go? There it is. So I'm going to write on like one of these little like candy wrapped candy pieces. So let's see if I can write this small enough. Maybe I'll just put CB for check back. Or maybe I'll write info. There we go. So I don't know how well you guys can see that, but now we have a little tag that says info. And I had a pair of tweezers. Nice. Okay. So we're going to use a pair of tweezers to kind of peel this off. Feel very professional sticker. Nice. So we have info. And we're just going to stick this down here. All right. And that way we know that there is more information on the back. All right, then our last one. This is dual. This is dual ball. I actually picked this up with, I purchased this with my store credit from the baseball card and memorabilia shop. After doing the trade, we had been like searching, rooting through the like bulk random cards that they had. They had like boxes and boxes of just like miscellaneous cards. And I was really happy that I was able to find this one because I had actually been looking for it on the eBay. Dual ball. So let's go ahead and mark this one. Also, for whatever reason, for me, in order to like write straight, I do need to like put this at a like an insane angle. That's like 45 degrees. Crazy. All right. Baseball cards and memorabilia. Excellent. All right, so that's all of my new expedition cards. Now they are all properly sleeved and annotated. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put these face down up here, and we are going to move into Aquapolis. No Skyridge this time. For those of you that aren't familiar, Skyridge, the third series from this e-reader set of Generation 2, is just like crazy, stupid, rare. Every card is like a bajillion dollars. So like I'm not even sure that I like saw very many Skyridge cards while I was there. But we do have some. I don't have any hollow. Oh, that's not true. I do have two holofoils from this collection. I have my holofoil Suicune and my holofoil Umbreon. This would be a great card to trade on condition because mine is actually not bad. Then going into Gyarados, Blossom, Blissey, Executor. I'd love to get this like psychic type Executor as well. The fire type Houndoom. Here's that Jumpluff I was talking about. Yukomori actually, I think, did a lot of illustrations in this one. She also did the Lantern and Chinchou. Tentacruel. Something interesting about this Victory Bell. I actually have the Victory Bell and the Weeping Bell reverse holofoil. And so I'm trying to like complete the evolutionary line in holofoil. One of my chase cards for this show had actually been a had been a reverse holofoil Bellsprout, but I did not see one. Here's the Golduck 50A, 50B that I had mentioned. The Skiploom I still need. Yukomori Skiploom. This had been another one of my chase cards, Drowsy 74B. Here's the Hoppip by Yukomori. Mr. Mime 95A had been a chase card. So here is Porygon 103A, and this one I actually have as reverse holofoil. And so now we also need to find a little sticker that indicates that it was a chase card. So let's take all of this out. Oop, let's slide in this one first. Oh no. Ah! Okay. That's Porygon 103A. And this one, let's go ahead and mark this. This was 5/30/26. Baseball cards, memorabilia. All right. Very nice. Okay, let's find another sticker. See what little details I can find in this one. I don't think these gems come out, which is unfortunate. What about these little stars? Nope. Lame. I guess I could like cut them out, but these are so small. Just little tiny details. Like this one had little stars. The flowers of the four-leaf clovers would have been great. I don't think flowers quite work here. More like greeting cards. Okay. Okay, I know I just said that I wasn't going to like cut these out, but I think I lied. I like these kind of yellow stars. And so I think I'm going to cut these out and put these in there. So we have this little one. I'm just going to say, should I put a C on it? Okay. C for chase card. And I'm going to take some nail scissors and try and delicately cut this out. This is sticker paper. Is it all? I wonder if I can... Whoop. Wonder if I can peel off part of it. Yes. Haha. Excellent. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. So, chase card, the little damage, the little price tag, and then it's all good. Okay, I'm actually going to put that face down because when I put all of the cards in order and then flip them over, they will be in regular order again. Alright, so this Voltorb, who was this from again? I guess I was actually 10 trades then. So I think I missed a vendor somehow. Hold on. Well, we're doing the best that we can. So let's go ahead and add Voltorb. Excellent. I'm gonna check to see. Whoops. Who is this from again? This was Outskirt Stand. Excellent. All right. So that was Aquapolis, and then no Skyridge. So we will move into EX Ruby Sapphire. Okay, so I want to organize these a little bit. So I know that we're going to organize the holofoils alphabetically. Then our rare cards. That's not a rare card. Blaziken is, I think, our only rare card. Yes. So then Blaziken. Then we have uncommons. Laron and Manectric. LMNOP, got it. And then we have Aron, Goldeen, Skitty. That should be right. Hope y'all can see the cards okay. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna start with this camera up. Oh, let me take that tag out. Come on. Come on. Damn. One sec. I'm gonna put this back in just because I like to use these for like protection and stuff for some of my other cards, for some of the other things that I do with them. Oh, this camera up is so nice. Look at that holofoil. Beautiful. And this was from cavemon.tcg. Alright, camera up. Speaking of kind of the Aeron Laron line, I do have this Aggron. I recently picked up this Delcatty. It is reverse holofoil, but I do actually really like this Pokemon. Normal holo. Nice. In terms of some of the other holofoils I do have this Gardevoir. It's a damaged copy that I had traded from my reverse holofoil like many moons ago at one of the local trade shops. Alright, I do also have this Mighty Anna. Manectric. Normal holo. Let's take her out. Oh, come on. That'll do. Another cavemon.tcg. Putting that in my stack. And then the slacking. Oh, this Holofoil Swampert is another one that was on my chase card list because I have The copy that I have is from the like World Championship deck from I think 2003 or 2004. So it's like not actually like the regular card. It's like a promo. Like I guess it's like a promo copy. But I do have the full evolution as that World Cup. I can't talk. As the World um, Championship deck. World Champions, by the way, for this year are actually happening in San Francisco in the middle of August, and I am signed up to maybe, hopefully, get 1 day tickets. Oh, I don't want this to be that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. 20. Excellent. I really like this green holofoil. I think slacking is so cool. And this one was also Cavemon dot TCG. Potential condition trades later. Oh, I love these. The holofoil looks so nice. Oh, I do also have this holofoil Whale Lord. Oh my god, it is gorgeous. Picked up this Blaziken, normal. $3. Tap, tap, tap. Where did I get this one from? Was this also one of the ones that I... Okay, this I think was also one of the mysterious 10th trader, that the mysterious 10th vendor that I do not remember. So we're just gonna keep this separate. It will have to go without a vendor name, I suppose. My eBay Laron. I'm not gonna worry about like putting a pricing on this one, just because like it's an eBay purchase. It's fine. There we go. And then I guess since it's an eBay purchase and not from a card show, I'm just gonna leave it blank as is. But let me go through and update. Here we go. Normal. Yes. Then we have the uncommon non-holofoil Manectric, which means I think I'm going to have the full evolutionary line. This one. Whoop. Whoops. Oh my gosh. Another thing that's hard for me to do with my nails. Okay, I am actually going to need to take a quick break. I'll be right back. I'm getting a phone call. And we're back. This one, oh, I remember. This one was from Silent Panda Inc. Oh, let's make sure that we are updating. The eBay Aeron. Oh, you know what? This is actually also a duplicate. Okay, that's good to know. In that case, I'm going to keep it in the oversized sleeve. Put a little duplicate note on the back. And just stick it back in a one of these. And then I'll use that later. Oh man. And I'll just use it for like easy trade later. Alright, I'm going to put that to a different side. Okay. The eBay Goldine, the non-e-reader version. I am going to sleeve this. Let's see. I'm going to, so the eBay vendor put a little piece of like painter's tape at the top to make sure that it didn't come out, I guess. I am going to peel that off and keep it on the Goldine for a moment just because I want to remember to make a note about this one that I want to, I guess, does it not have an e-reader version? No e-reader. Okay, so I would like to trade that up. What is this version? So this is one of the Makuhitas. And this also came in, I think, normal, reverse hollow, and no e-reader. But I have the e-reader version. So this Skitty, I love Skitty. Oh my god, these nails. Okay. Whoops. Come on. Eh. Ha! Oh my god. Nope. 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 Come on. Eh. Okay, there we go. This was another silent panda find. And that. Silent panda dot inc on the Instantgrams. What did I just say that was? It was this skitty. Normal. Excellent. I did also purchase. Oh, and you know what? I gotta take off this darkness energy. I do already have this metal energy. I think I also purchased that. Oops. I did also buy this Switch card because it has a Togepi on it. I have like that Switch art is so common. I've like 1000% seen it for oops, for like other in other series. But yeah, that's my collection. Let's see, what are we at now? I don't have any of the like EX rares. They were doing these. But this one doesn't have any like ultra rares or secret rares. Not for this set. But hey, now we're at 66%. Not bad. So let's go ahead and move on over to this is EX Sandstorm. No. Oh, okay. Alright, gently. Nope. Oh my god. Try and like finger it down. Nope. Oh my god. There we go. Mm. At silent panda dot ink. I was looking for this holofoil Zangoose. No dice. But we did pick up this Breloom. Excellent. Alright. So this Ammonite was on my chase card list. Oh, it actually should be Aeron then Ammonite. But anyway, we'll still do Ammonite first. So this one was a like reverse holofoil trade. So I have my little like price tag for the moderately played reverse holofoil from who knows when. This was actually $3 from Outer Plains Games, OP Games, and then the non-holofoil purchase price, which you know, on this past weekend. So it's just kind of funny to see them kind of the same. I think I'm going to do this card similar to the Venusaur card and put both so we're going to put an info sticker on it as well as a chase card sticker on it. So that was the sound of my pen being knocked to the floor. Okay. I think for this round, I'm not going to I'm not going to write chase on it or anything on it. I think just like having the star, we're going to call that enough for this time. But I am yoink. So we're not going to write anything on this one. Oh my god, that's like impossible to see with these nails. Where did it even go? Oh, it's right here. All right. And we'll have the little piece of candy. I don't know what we're going to do for the next one because there's only one more piece of candy. I guess we'll just use the diamond. Okay, so watch me finagle this with my tweezers. So I cannot do this with my nails. I don't know how people have like super long nails. I'm like, how in the world do you get anything done? There we go. Alright, then the little gold chase star. Do want to update this. So we have plus one of those. And then no more reverse holo. And let's go ahead and write info again. There we go. Tap, tap, tap. Tap the bottom. Tap the top. Alright. And then there's already the purchase information and the pricing. Sorry, and the date on the little info card on the back. So, nice. And we're going to do that with the Aeron as well. We're going to add one normal and then remove the holofoil. This card sleeve doesn't have a baggy card sleeve in it. So let me fix that. Get so many of those between like show vendors and just random other eBay stuff. So I always want to make sure that these are double sleeved for whatever I need them for. Okay, so we're going to need a couple of things here. First, let's put Aeron in a sleeve. Now, I could not for the life of me tell you where I purchased this card. And by purchased, I mean I like probably traded for it or purchased it on credit or something. Generally, I only try and buy like, packs or occasionally ETB boxes, ETBs. The B is for box. Okay, then we need our info. I. Nope, I want this sticker. Perfect. All right. Nope. And down. Down. Go down. And stick. Cool. All right, we got that one. And let's cut out another chase card star. Oops. That's fine. All right, and now we are trying to peel. God, I should be wearing my jewelry magnifiers for this. But hey, look, got it off first time. First time. Okay. I'm gonna put the little gold star right above that. Doesn't that look cute? So we have the normal Aeron with the little information insignia and the chase card insignia. Perfect. All right, so that is EX Sandstorm. Now we're going to move into EX Dragon. And I think I will be wrapping up in, let's see, it is 4:42. We're going to see if we can get all these sleeved and maybe start filing. I do want to wrap up by around 5 o'clock. This has been a much longer stream than I first thought, but I really appreciate you all coming. Okay, so I'm going to put these in series order. So obviously Rosalia, sorry, Rosalia, not Rosalia. Rosalia as the holofoil rare is going to come first. Then the three of these are all like common, so they're just going to be in alphabetical order. So Geodude, Magnemite, Numel, and Spoink. Oh, I'm so happy about her. There we go. Nice. Okay, now this was Outskirt Stand, I think. Yes. Alright. So of this series, in terms of holofoils, I do have this Crawdaunt, which I love, by the way. I did also purchase this Crawdaunt recently. I don't know, something about Corpish. The Corpus line, I fucking love it. I just think it's adorable. All right, so date, outskirt stand on the Instagram. This is probably one of my favorite cards from this like event. You know, I do have some little heart stickers. Let me see if I can find them. Because if so, I would love to put one on this one because I really do just love it so much. Not that. Thought I had more little heart stickers. Ah, I found one. Let's move that out of the way. Nice! So cute. Alright. Then the Silent Panda Geodude. Oh yeah. Let me add Rosalia. Add my Rosalia. Oh, you know what? I am missing some Graveler. Okay. I love this fucking Shuppet card, by the way. I think it's so funny. Oh, and here's the Geodude. Okay, so I think I'm just missing Graveler now. This Magnemite from eBay. Come on. So this is just going to get sleeved. So now I have two of the three Magnemites. Just missing this last wonky one. Same thing with this eBay Nummel. We'll just go ahead and sleeve it. Alright, I got both my Nummels. And this Spoink was the very last of oh my gosh. That was the last of my Silent Panda cards. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Yeah. There we go. All right. Add that. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and sleeve these last two cards. So we have. I don't think this is actually. Like, this is listed on TCG Collector as a Wizards of the Coast promo, but I don't think it is. The Pokemon Forever movie. This is also going to get a chase card. This will be getting a little chase card star, since that this was indeed one of the cards I was chasing. Okay. Excellent. So cute. Okay, and this one was from Kingdom Games. Excellent. So we got that Suicune. Alright, so now let's go over into the Nintendo Black Star promos. And update this one. So I am going to remove this. And now I actually have the Cosmo Holo with the e-reader. And this one was actually a very generous gift from Johto Jules. I was, oh my gosh, fortunate enough that they just gave it to me for free. And I think, I don't know, I like to think it's like, one of the things that I really like about card shows is just like how nice people will be. Oh my god. Come on. There we go. And pull. And like fun stuff like this happens, or it's easier to kind of like barter, get people to like go a little bit easier on trade values. And I don't know, I like to think that like, because I'm such like a, oh no, such like a bona fide collector. Oh, this is actually not Cosmo Hollow. This is non-hollow. So let me. Okay, I have to figure out what the hell is up with this. So now I actually have both. So I'm gonna keep this in mind. I'm at Jodo Jewels. All right. And with that, I am going to finish us up for today. Thank you all so much for coming. I will be posting soon what my like streaming schedule will be for the next week, for the next couple of weeks. So definitely get excited for. There's going to be another jewelry and chess. We'll definitely be doing that. You'll see me I don't know, smelting silver. I'll be doing a lot of silversmithing, as well as some we'll probably do another chess and probably like a couple, we'll do like some chess tournaments, as well as some we'll probably do some shotgun king. I think I'm probably going to take some time off of Pokemon cards to let my wallet recover. So I hope you all had fun today. I definitely did. And I will see you all next time. Peace.